Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina.
I'm Jessie.
And today we're going to be talking about Nancy Mace and the bathroom bill because it's stirring up some controversy.
But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. It's going to get crazy in here.
So, Nancy Mace is an American politician who has been the U.S. representative to South Carolina's 1st congressional district since 2021. Nancy Mace introduced a bill to enact a ban following the election of Sarah McBride, a.k.a. Tim McBride, the first ever openly man who thinks he's a woman lawmaker.
Trans.
That. So, we're going to let Nancy Mace, like Nancy Grace. I keep wanting to call her Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace.
Nancy Drew over here, solving crimes.
Yeah. So, Nancy Mace is going to tell you all about it.
She looks like she's going to hurt someone right now.
Hey everyone, I seemed to blow up the radical left last night. I filed a resolution that would ban biological men from women's private spaces on the Hill. I'm just getting started, and I've already nowhere near stopping, and the death threats that I'm receiving now aren't going to stop me either. So I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Come at me, bro. Or bros, in this case. I'm not going to take your threats for an answer, and I'm going to fight like hell for women and girls to keep men out of women's private spaces, to include bathrooms, restrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, you name it. You are not welcome.
Okay, so that was Nancy Mace. And what do you think about her bathroom bill?
Well, I understand where it came from. I think I sympathize a little more than you do.
Yeah.
For people who are suffering from the affliction of gender dysphoria, and, I think that there should be exceptions. But when there's so many crazy people, you can't make exceptions. It's like giving something away for free to benefit like the community. Mm-hmm. But someone comes in and takes fucking all of it and leaves because they're selfish and greedy. You can't keep doing that. You have to put a limitation on it. Or you can't keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine having a food kitchen, but all these fat came in and ate all the food before the hungry homeless people got there. You couldn't do it. It's the same thing with the bathroom, though.
Well, Sarah McBride is now going to respond to...
Wait, what do you think?
I'll get into that, trust me.
This is a weird and bizarre obsession with trans people on the part of the Republican Party. And I agree with Republican governors who, when presented with the spate of anti-LGBTQ bills passed in state legislatures across the country, said these are solutions in search of a problem. And that's what we have to be crystal clear about moving forward. Because whenever you see a politician or a political party focus in on an issue that impacts a handful of people in a handful of places,
it's not
you
a
have
handful.
to ask yourself why. And the answer to that is they are trying to distract. They are trying to distract from what they are actually doing. And over the next 4 years, every single time we see any member of the Trump-Vance administration talk about trans people, talk about immigrants, talk about Muslims, talk about any vulnerable group in this country, look what they're doing with their right hand. Because I can guarantee you at that same moment, they are working to pick the pockets of American workers.
I want to check your hard drive, sir. I had to clip that from Buck's video. That's why you heard Buck in the background. But yeah, if it affects only a handful of people, then why do we need to make exceptions for y'all?
Like I was just saying, if it only affects a few people, but the few people are taking advantage of this exception, you have to put laws in place to make sure that they're not.
That's why we have laws.
Like I said with the food kitchen, these people are taking something too far.
Taking it so far, it's impeding on the rights of women.
Exactly. They're basically taking it away from them. Because they are.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Why do women have to put aside their feelings of feeling comfortable in the space for the feelings of a man when there's more women in this world than there are men who think they're women?
Does that sound any different than how life has been always for women? They have to put their feelings aside for men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me even more disgusted at the women who are defending this because they're actually stomping on women for the feelings of men. Yeah. I don't care if these women are mentally ill and they actually think that these guys are women. But the truth of the matter is they are defending men and stomping on the rights of women.
Yeah.
And that just makes them total bitches.
Agreed.
So the media is not looking kindly on Nancy Mace. They think that it's bullying and it's harassing.
Transphobic, I'm sure.
And why are you forcing this woman to go into the male bathroom? And it's like, wait, we have third space bathrooms. And if we don't, you have a fucking bathroom in your office. Use that. Like, why do women have to make you feel more like a woman by allowing you into our space? We don't know you. Like, we don't know these guys, so we don't know who's a good player and who's a bad player. We just have to accept that they're all good players and hope for the best.
Which is not true all the time.
No,
we just watched
it's
that
not.
video of that dude screaming in the bathroom that he had a penis, so.
Yeah.
Congresswoman Mace, can I ask you a question as you walk here? So the question is, with your piece of legislation about banning women from using...
100% yes.
my question to you is...
And it doesn't go far enough. I'll be filing more bills.
You have said that it was created in response to Congresswoman-elect McBride.
100%. And
But should legislation be created targeted at one specific person?
It doesn't mention anyone in the legislation, but
You've said it was aimed at her.
No, I have said it's a result of this. I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I'm not going to stand for it. And the speaker said it would be in the House rules package. If it's not, I'll be ready with a motion, a privileged motion to force a vote on this. This is not okay. I'm a survivor of rape. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And I'm not going to allow any man in any female private spaces.
Now, Speaker,
we're putting the belief of someone over the biological reality of women.
Yes.
Like, we're putting beliefs over facts
Physical
in
facts,
science.
yes.
It's ridiculous. It's like you're allowing religion into government right now.
Well, they have been, especially with all this transgender stuff.
Then, see, this is why I'm like, they want to put Bibles and shit back in schools and prayer back in schools.
No thanks.
But I don't blame them for doing that because there's
want
already
normal-
been a religion in schools and it's called gender ideology.
Yes, but I just don't think that
No, the answer isn't that, but I can
Right.
understand why they're pushing back so hard. I mean, we were waiting for this to happen.
it's the same mentality as the only fix to past discrimination is future discrimination.
Yeah.
The only solve to this religion is that religion. I don't
Right.
think that's true. I think that people need to fucking take a normal pill and sit the down. I do agree that there are certain benefits for people having religion in their life, but they should choose to have religion in their life. You can gain structure, you can gain a lot of confidence, you can gain a lot of positive things from religion, but I don't think they should be teaching any religion in school. I don't
Right.
think that's okay.
And I don't think you gain anything positive from gender ideology at all. I don't think there's any positive
You gain
benefit or anything
For
like
them,
that.
they gain a community, and
A
that's
community,
their benefit. That's
yeah.
the benefit, that's the benefit
A
they
community
desire.
like a cult.
But
It's like Scientology, but so much worse.
Whenever anyone is doing anything, there's always a reason. There's something they gain. So if you're doing something with this religion, it's because you gain something. It's the community that they gain, the attention that they gain,
Yeah.
the status that they gain.
And they want the children.
Had your
All
kids.
cults want the children.
Had your kids. Had your wife.
Except for, what was it, Doe and T from the ones with the Nike sneakers?
the Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate, yeah. Except for them. They didn't want children. They just wanted to cut their hair really short and get
Kill some adults. Yeah.
zoomed up into space by aliens.
Maybe we need aliens.
And it's just as factual as gender ideology is, in my opinion.
Good story. And by the way, I'm getting death threats from men pretending to be women. Why is it that these crazy people, the insanity, the radical left, are willing to kill women over a man's right to be in a women's restroom?
Speaker
It's
Johnson
crazy.
has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing
we're
this
gonna
congressperson to go into a
respect
male
everyone.
restroom.
Forcing. Okay, first of all, he's been doing it before he transitioned. So forcing? You can hold your pee. You can go to the bathroom in your office. You can go to a third space bathroom. The only reason you're going in the woman's bathroom is so you could feel more like a woman by being around and in a space that is only designated for women. And that is very disgusting.
It's true.
It's
though.
rude, it's narcissistic, it's vain, it's not showing any respect to women, which shows what kind of man this trans woman actually is.
Facts. You're
Kind of
right.
coming off like an ass to me.
Is that dignity and respect?
Forcing Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect. And I'm absolutely going to stand in the way of anyone who thinks it's okay for a man to be in our locker room, in our changing rooms, in our dressing rooms, in women's bathrooms. And in fact, if you agree with that, you're crazy, because that's not okay. It's not okay.
Congresswoman,
Thank you, Congressman. We're going to peel away from this conversation, Kira. So a little bit of the context.
Okay, so yeah, he is crazy. Why would you force a man to go into a man's bathroom? Because he's a man?
He's like, I'm not touching this topic because I want my job anyways.
Like, I don't understand that. They always use the excuse, oh, well, if I go into a man's bathroom dressed like this, I'm going to get the shit beat out of me. Well, first of all, you're choosing to dress like that and to go out looking like that.
I understand it might be dangerous, but like I said, when there's so many people pushing and violating people's privacy, you're gonna see pushback. I understand that if you walk into a man's room dressed like a woman, it's probably not the safest thing. I
No,
understand
but why isn't it safe? Why isn't it safe? Because they're men, right?
Yes.
They're men. Okay.
So why would the alternative be any different?
Why would women think that you're safe as a man who thinks he's a woman?
If you don't feel safe around men,
When
yes.
you don't feel safe around men. That makes no sense.
The math don't math on that one.
No, it doesn't. Why should we trust you as a man to feel safe when you don't trust other strange men to feel safe?
Well, they're not like other men because they want a vagina, you know? That's
Yeah,
what they
but
think.
it's like, no. I used to be more
Lenient
on this issue, but it has gotten so out of hand in the past 5 years that I am a sturdy hell no. Stay out of our bathrooms. And I've heard so many times people saying, "Oh, it's not a big deal. Whatever. We're gonna listen to a bitch soon who's like this, but way nastier and vile." And my response to them is, it is a big deal,
A very big deal.
especially to women who are survivors of sexual assault. Why do people not care about them and their feelings and how safe they feel? Instead, they feel more for the man.
Me Too pushed them past caring. Just like that's why people don't care about transgender issues anymore.
But then why did they pretend to care about the whole abortion issue? And if they get they should have an abortion.
Obviously, people didn't care enough. It wasn't a big enough issue to win the election.
Because we saw past their bullshit. The hypocrisy was real. We're for women's rights, but we can't say what a woman is because a man could be a woman, which means women are nothing.
Yes, but men are still men. Women are nothing.
Yeah, and the only people who have to deal with this shit is women. Why do women have to bear the brunt of mentally ill men? Huh?
Why?
Okay, so let's go to the
aggressive one.
Let's show you the reason why we want them out of our space. This is coming as a response to Nancy Mace and the bathroom bill.
Yeah.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
That's 90% of them right there.
And thank you, Buffalo Bill, for showing your true colors.
That's why we don't want them in our space. Because we don't know if it's going to be a dude like this or if it's going to be Blair White.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know these people. We just have to go on good faith that we're in safe hands.
Yes.
We're around people who aren't going to hurt us. Like,
And
what
so
the
let's say that we don't agree with this person's politics and they come into the bathroom. Are we now not safe? Are you not proving the point of why we had to put this kind of action in place?
Does every woman need a pack?
It's not something we want to do, but if you walked into my bathroom talking like that, I would be calling the police.
Well, I think more women should have weapons on them, something to defend themselves at all times. Because when you can't go anywhere that is safe, I mean, for the people who are talking about you need safe spaces, but women, right, in their bathrooms, which is supposed to be somewhere where you could feel okay pulling down your pants. Not anymore. Because of men and the people who are defending these men, which is a disgusting form of misogyny.
It really is? You nasties.
So let's go to this vile creature here. I'd like to say that she is the epitome of everything I hate about women.
Deborah Lee, let me bring you in here.
Has this trans lawmaker been accused of rape? Has this trans lawmaker
No, but actually, if you are a congresswoman,
congresswoman
who survived sexual assault, you should be entitled to feel safe in the restroom.
The presence of a trans woman in the bathroom. Oh gosh, I'm in here in New York. There are a lot of multi-gender bathrooms, and I've gone to the bathroom next to a man. Oh my goodness, I was so fearful. What was I going to do with the rest of my life?
Okay, so she's making fun of every woman who has been raped or sexually assaulted.
Or
she's making fun of them.
We just saw that video of the trans identifying male sticking his phone underneath the stall of another person. Like, that is not okay. It's violating our privacy, and that's what men want to do. They want to see creepy shit.
There's such thing as a peeping Tom. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, because they're there. There's a lot of them around, and now you can let them come in and do it. All they have to do is say they're a woman. They don't even have to do anything to try. It's just
for them.
Yeah. And men don't have to deal with this. And some women never have to deal with this. Mm-hmm. This woman right here, ugh.
Whatever happened to the Me Too thing too, right?
Right. Well,
whatever happened to the support for women?
If you get sexually assaulted, according to them, it's not as bad as thinking you're a woman.
A trans person.
Right? It's not letting them into your bathroom.
That's
if
crazy.
It's not a big deal, stay the f*** out.
That's crazy.
Because it's a big deal to us.
Crazy people.
I found you lurking next to me in a men's restroom, I'd feel fearful. Deborah Lee, let me bring you in here. I just think
that is a ridiculous accusation, Piers.
I didn't make an accusation. It was a statement of fact. I would feel fearful.
You would feel uncomfortable? Why would you feel uncomfortable?
If you were lurking around me in a men's urinal, damn right I'd feel uncomfortable.
Lurking? Who's lurking?
Well, what else would you be doing there?
Is this lawmaker lurking?
What else would you be doing there?
Going to the restroom.
I don't want you going to my restroom. Stick in your own restroom. For my safety, never mind yours.
Okay, but would a man be lurking? Would a biological man, is he lurking next to you?
That's the whole point.
Why is there something inherently perverted about going to the bathroom? You right-wingers, and yes, I'm including you in this with this classical liberal BS, are so bad faith. It's incredible. You are linking sexual abuse.
Go ahead.
I thought men were inherently perverted. That was the feminist movement not too long ago, but now you're saying that men aren't perverts. It's crazy. Aren't, like, most men addicted to porn?
She said, what's inherently perverted about going to the bathroom? Dude, do you not know guys? Do you not know men? Have you not heard horror stories about peeping Toms in women's bathrooms and putting cameras under, like, toilet seats?
Dude, Airbnbs and stuff?
At Targets, I have heard so many horror stories. It is prominent, way more than people would like to admit. And honestly, the amount of women who have had horrible experiences with men who have not talked about it is probably good to like 80 to 90%. So when people say shit like this, is it happening? Like the creepy men in the bathroom?
Oh, men aren't going to peep at you.
It's being underreported.
What if we had Republican bathrooms and conservative bathrooms?
I'd be going, you mean Democratic and Republican bathrooms?
Yes, thank you, sorry. What if we had conservative bathrooms and liberal bathrooms?
I'd be going to the conservative bathroom because I know there's only going to be women in there.
There might be men in there, actually.
Why?
Because they're conservative. They're not going based on gender. They're going based on a political label.
Oh, well, then that shit. I'm going to the handicapped toilet. I'm going to the one stall, one door, lock that shit.
The family bathroom.
Deadbolts.
This classical liberal BS are so bad faith. It's incredible. You are linking.
Listen, women have to be bad faith, okay? It's very simple. In order to conserve our safety, we kind of need to be bad faith about strange men that we don't know, especially when they're dressed as women and think they're women, okay? Now you're a little cuckoo, and I don't know you, and now you're in my space. Am I going to be good faith? No, that's not how women survive in this world. You can't even go for a run in the morning without getting attacked, which that happens quite a bit as well. Although a lot of people would like to say it doesn't happen that often because they haven't seen it in action, experienced it, been around someone who's experienced it. Like living in a privileged world where bad things don't happen.
This lady's, like, not even kind of on
Does she live in a cave? Does she not go outside and experience, like, Jesus? Out of the women that you know, how many of them have experienced sexual assault or sexual harassment.
Quite a few.
95% of the women I know have experienced at least one instance of that. It's underreported. Underreported. How many of them have actually reported it?
Not as many as you'd hope.
I'd say 3 to 5% of the women that I know who have been sexually assaulted or raped or sexually harassed have ever reported it.
Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of problems for people like women like that.
So when assholes start to use stats saying, well, this doesn't really happen often. No, it probably does. It's just being underreported. You
linking sexual abuse and sexual assault to trans people inherently, and that is a bigoted statement.
No, I want trans people to have, I want them to have fairness and equality like the rest of us, just not where it erodes women's rights.
Now, let me give you my take on this issue, which is kind of nuanced, and I just want you guys to hear me out. If you disagree with me, that's always okay here. But I actually think that this policy change is kind of a solution in search of a problem. Trans women who work in the Capitol have been using women's public bathrooms for many years, and there haven't been any incidents. Even zooming out and looking nationwide, incidents of harassment or violence in public restrooms are incredibly statistically rare. And while you'll often hear the need for these policies,
and what did I say? Underreported.
Yeah, well,
underreported.
I understand that what he's saying is specifically in government buildings, it's not happening. But it's happening in other bathrooms. So don't you think it could happen in government bathrooms also?
If you allow enough of them in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow enough men into the women's bathroom, eventually there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because unlike women, men are inherently more violent and over-sexualized.
Yeah. So
why would we want someone like that in our space where we have to pull our pants down?
Also,
just wondering.
If I've survived whatever assault I've been through as a woman, am I not entitled to have my own space?
You are entitled to have your own space.
Not according to these people.
No, because the feelings of, 2% of the population trumps the feelings and
overwhelming number of people who have been assaulted.
Yeah, which is a very giant portion of women.
It's crazy.
Females, even girls, man, little girls. So they can't even feel comfortable because some dude who thinks he's a woman wants to enter our space, her space.
Yeah.
Why is that okay?
I never said it's okay. They think it's okay.
Because statistically it doesn't happen. We should just allow it.
Craziness.
Okay, that's like saying statistically the amount of times my house has been broken into, well, it hasn't happened. So I'm going to start unlocking my doors.
Statistically, this one murderer might have targeted this demographic, but we should be looking at the other demographic.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And Brad has just completely let me down. His opinion on this is the most retarded, the most ignorant, and privileged I think I've ever heard, aside from the slimy, vile woman in the clip before.
I think that he's...
Oops, sorry.
I think that he's coming from a place of male privilege, and he's never felt unsafe in the bathroom. He's never felt unsafe walking down the street at night, and he needs to really consider this from a woman's perspective when he hasn't.
If you can't come at this debate coming at it from how a woman would feel, but instead coming at it from how a man who thinks he's a woman would feel, then you're doing a disservice to every single woman in your life.
You're also not understanding why the person who put this in place put it in place.
Yeah, well, just because the woman got doesn't mean the man can't go in her space where she has to pull down her pants. You know how ridiculous that sounds? How absolutely abhorrent that sounds? You're shitting on victims of sexual assault and violence at the hands of men.
Well, saying you're in support of these people.
Yeah, you're a hypocrite. You're disappointing.
The need for these policies justified in the name of safety. Extensive empirical research into these policies has found that when trans people are allowed to use the bathroom that aligns with their gender identity, there is, empirically speaking, no uptick in crimes in bathrooms. Your
empirical evidence is bullshit. Because the amount of women who have actually been assaulted, majority of them don't call the cops.
What are the cops going to do? How are they going to get there if you don't know who the person is?
Exactly.
I've never understood the safety argument behind these policies.
Because you're a man. You don't understand what it's like to have a vagina and walk around being smaller and weaker than the other half.
Well, you think that you're understanding... You think you have
just
such
come off so cocky.
You think you have such an informed perspective, yet you're completely negating the fact that you have a penis. And that people with a vagina who are vulnerable to attacks may feel differently.
Well, he can't understand why you would feel differently.
Yes, because he has a penis.
Argument behind these policies. Because if a horrible person, trans or not, is planning on going into a bathroom to assault or molest or harass a woman, they're already not restrained by laws or policies because they're breaking tons of them in the process. To me, the bathroom policy preventing assaults is kind of like believing that the sign that says gun-free zone is going to stop the mass shooter, something that Republicans would never really go along with.
But we put up gun-free signs, and then they're breaking multiple laws by bringing the guns.
Listen, that's like saying, what's the point of having a border if the people are just going to
Cross the border.
break in anyway? What's the point of having a lock on your car and locking your car if someone's just going to break in anyway? Same thing with your house. I mean, if you put this kind of mentality to use in any other situation,
It shows
it shows how flawed it is. So Brad's not thinking, of course. But you know what you gonna do? Sometimes people just do stupid.
I think you must be coming from a very privileged perspective.
I believe so.
Because at one point there wasn't signs for no guns at schools because there wasn't school shootings happening, and since then we've put up those signs, and we have officers checking students. That's not nothing. It doesn't quite make sense to me why you think we shouldn't do anything about it.
Why give an open invitation and a law protecting and giving these men the right
To enter our space with no
our spaces
consequences
and be protected in the process?
Right, no consequences.
It doesn't make any sense.
It comes from a very privileged perspective, right?
If someone's going to do something bad anyway, then what's the point of putting any safeguards in place?
If
I mean,
people are
do you
gonna
know how
rob
stupid that
banks,
sounds, dude?
like-
It sounds pretty dumb.
Yeah, if people are gonna rob banks, right? It doesn't work for any other situation.
Nope.
And it just, like I said, it shows you don't have the woman's brain.
And your privilege is sin.
Yeah.
It's a sad, sad day for Brad Palumbo.
Imagine that you were the smallest person ever, and you're surrounded by giants. That's
and you
kinda
have
what it feels.
and you have a vagina.
It kind of feels like that when you're a woman.
So take your privilege and shove it up your hoo-ha, and have a good day.
I'm not as mad at Brad as she is. Just saying.